And we're already off to a great start. Here we go. Welcome everybody to another week of Sunday Night Skippy. This is week 6 action at Raceway. Shorter track, 1.9 miles. And yeah, this one's going to be quick and furious compared to some of the other courses that we have been at earlier in the season, but I know that I'm personally looking forward to it. And without further ado, actually, we'll just make a reminder that if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, we are available on either one, so you can switch to the platform of your choice. Just search for CavOK Racing, that's C-A-V-O-K, CavOK Racing, and you should be able to find us there. And otherwise, Ian, do you got a good copy on us tonight?
I do indeed. I do indeed.
I'm gonna assume that's a yes, and I'm still having some audio issues, so we're gonna focus on you, whether you're good to go or not, and have you take it from there until I can figure out what's going on. All right, take it away.
Okay, guys. So this is coming up to the start-finish line. Big right-hander. The car sliding all over the place. Here's the start-finish line right underneath the sign. As we go whizzing down to the first of what is many right-hand, left-hand hairpins. A lot of turning in this track. It's very short, but it's quite a technical track because you've really got to try and keep your speed through a lot of these corners. I mean, you'll be seeing them braking all the way down into first gear on most of them, and then not being able to get on the gas. I'm really not the best person to be showing you this particular track, but yep, we're going. You can see it's really short. And it's really technical to some extent. You don't want to get on those curbs because the curbs are painted and very slippery. And then when you try to accelerate, your wheels spin like crazy, so you don't get the push out that you want. So when you're coming down to this last turn, you're going to be dropping one gear. There's going to be a lot of overtaking at this corner as you try to balance the car using the throttle to help steer the back end and get as much speed as you can coming down to the first corner. And then you can see perfectly there, that's where the pit exit is. So you're going to have cars approaching at a high rate of speed, where cars are coming out of the pits at the same time. So you're going to see a lot of potential for crashes. It's just a really difficult track to master. You'll be looking at speeds in this pack of anything from sort of a 1.3 something to 1.1s, or maybe in the ones for the really fast guys. I'm hoping to be able to run consistently 1.2s. So that's 1 minute and 2 seconds per lap. If I can do that, I'll be very happy with myself. But right now I'm still running 1.3s and struggling. It is also a track that is very susceptible to temperature change. So you can see these cars coming out the pits here on the right, trying to avoid us as best they can, but it's not going to be easy, you know. The other thing about this track is it's an extremely difficult track to overtake on. Whoa, around I go. And I'll probably get hit now. Yep, there we go. Nothing. You see, that is such an easy thing to have happen with any of the cars as they go around this track. So, you can be looking for a lot of crashes. I'm going to remind you that you can get one quick repair where you go into the pits and your car is set back to like new, but only one chance. Here's me coming out of the pits. And is straight into this first right-hander. Accelerating around this right-hander, you've got a series of left and rights, little left here, over the curb, pick your braking point, and then into this right-hander. The checkered is out, so we're going to end any minute now and go into qualifying. There you go, we're in qualifying.
Awesome. Well, I actually do have you now. It was an issue with the
Good.
monitoring, so there we go. Well done. Thank
I'm
you for
just
that.
trying to keep talking, you know.
That was good. It was fantastic.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Chris, how are things going with you, mate?
it's been an interesting whole week. Nothing too crazy. We'll get into it later, but yeah, it's been I'm waiting for the lull of the fall and the winter to show up. I was promised a lull, and so far not so good. But how have you been?
The weekends have been interesting. Last weekend, I actually went up to the mountain in West Virginia. I'm a volunteer ski patroller and instructor, and so we had our annual refresher up there, which was kind of cool. Working with all the guys and gals out in West Virginia on making your skiing safe. Always a fun thing to do.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that was my Saturday. I had the family out there. They all got to go do a bit of horse riding, which was good for them. And I worked. So they had fun.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that
Yeah.
sounds fantastic. You do a lot of volunteer work, man. Yeah, that's pretty great. We thank you for all that. I'm sure you weren't looking for that, but I just wanted to make sure
No,
that that,
I enjoy
that
doing it. It's a lot of
yeah,
fun.
yeah, exactly. And I figured as much, and that's really great. Being able to give back to the community like that, and I mean the ski patrol I'm sure is a little stressful at some point, but also probably you get to be outside and that. So.
And you get to ski for free.
And you get to ski for free. There you go. Can't argue with that.
There's definitely pluses.
All right, well, we'll let you get to it. We will go ahead and take a look at the standings and kind of look at some behind the scenes stuff as we let you guys put down some hot laps and find your way to the grid. First things first, let's look at the uh, people standings, and I'm gonna try to find a way. Obviously, I did not have a lot of time to prep once again, which seems to be a theme. But yeah, it's what I'm free, so that's what you get. But here we go. I'm gonna probably split this up, try to blow it up a little bit since we've got so many people. 57 names there. I'm sure anybody watching on a phone right now is squinting their eyes, but right now showing Chris Herrera up by 20 points over James Hauser, who's up by 18 over Edwin Viorino. And yeah, it still remains pretty tight. Pretty tight if you remember or are new to the league. We changed the points structure, and there's a less of a gap between finishing positions, and then there's bonus points for laps led. And it's not every single lap led. It kind of depends on how many laps you run during the race. They kind of try to dead normalize it a little bit. We're going to be running a lot of laps here versus maybe some of the longer tracks. So we want to make it as we don't want the length of the track to kind of dictate how important it is towards championship. I guess I'm trying to say so. Either way, running up front, being up front is going to count for a lot more and can actually kind of make up for a couple positions overall in the finish. We're able to lead enough going in it. So that's what it looks like throughout the field. We have some big movers and shakers, and the only thing I don't know, and I meant to verify this with Jason, but we do have drop weeks for the season, so these may not be 100%. What you're gonna end up seeing at the end. I do believe it takes those into account as we start getting to the place where we dropping those races from the standings, which is a little. It's not unique to iRacing, but you're not gonna see that really professionally, at least in the series I watch, NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula, etc. So you can basically take a couple bad weekends, or you want to skip a weekend and get it out of there, and just kind of forget that it ever happened. And yeah, so we'll see how that ends up updating as we go along. Another thing I want to bring up our team standings right now, and I do believe that this requires a little bit of updating for the team names. I don't know, maybe not. We'll see. But obviously, team running on empty with a commanding lead, 65 points. But after that, it gets real close, real. And so Snail Racing, Bentwing Racing, Kaizen Racing. I mean, all the way down, all the way through the B team. Really, Team Moving Chicane having a little bit of a rough season go of it, but even the Albino Buffaloes are not completely out of it for the team standings potential podium there for them. That will be fun to watch. Keep your eye on those as we go throughout the race. And speaking of qualifying, let's go ahead and see what everybody has been putting up. Here's your best times. Currently, Chris Herrera, we're halfway through qualifying session, and Chris Herrera will be sitting on the pole if everything remains the same. It is lone qualifying. Yep, I do believe. I
Lone
think we got to
qualifying 4
wave
laps.
4 laps. Okay, so you only get 4 laps, and as you can see, at a minute apiece, that's just not a ton of time to get out there, get your tires warm, and down some screamers. So Edwin Viorino and Jason Bice actually jumps up above Chris Herrera as I'm talking there. So they are on their, that was their 4th lap, except for Edwin. I believe he is on his last one. So check out Edwin's up to. But it looks like most of the field, with a few exceptions, have done their 4 laps. And of course, Edwin being one of them, although he is currently sitting on the pole. And the next person, Carl Dronke, coming across the line on his final lap. He will be in 15th. A little further down, Jeff Torbeck here on his final lap. So, by and large, everything's pretty much set. There are 36 people. Looks like Sammy Bridges has not run any laps yet. He is now officially on the field, or on the track. So, track him and see what he's up to. We will have currently 36 drivers on the grid tonight. I believe that's all that made it. So a somewhat smaller grid than what we're used to, but I'm sure nobody's complaining on this course.
Not on this track. I think that it's going to be really interesting because this is a very difficult track to overtake on. There's only really 1 or 2 space places that are very good for overtaking, and the rest of them are very much a how do I put this politely? Large cojones corners.
No, we should see no tempers flaring tonight. Everybody's probably going to be pretty cool and collected.
Yeah, no.
Right.
And then pit in is not an easy one to pull. You know, the pit in is difficult to find, difficult to spot, and hard to navigate because you end up on a very narrow little road that you have to sort of work your way around to get into the pits in the first place.
So I heard you talking about pit exit there, and that's right when my audio started working again. So I don't know if you talked about it, but if anybody is watching who's new, or maybe just isn't aware, the Sunday Night Skippy Racing League, we have limited the fuel that the drivers are allowed to carry, which is going to force a pit stop at some point. That's why the pit entry and exit are so going to be so critical, and it's going to be unlikely that you're ever going to be out of traffic. So one of the things that you can do is maybe pit in a little early to try to get out of traffic and decongest the track a little bit, but this one's so short that it's going to be very difficult to separate yourself from other drivers, even with the pit stop strategy.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think that the corners to be really looking for going into turn 1, that hard deceleration zone, going into the last corner from the hairpin all the way down to the last corner. You'll get some drafting going on there, and if you want to flip to me real quick while we're still waiting, I'm coming up to that place now so I can sort of show you. So from this corner here, big deacceleration zone. You won't see much, you shouldn't see much overtaking here because people are going to be on the inside. But as they go down here, depending on how fast you get out, this is a good road where they're going to try and come on the inside, I would imagine, to do the overtaking. And then the pit entrance is now here. Here's pit in. and you have to go around this little tiny road down here. Up, you're missing it, but all the way along there at about whatever miles an hour you can do,
Sure.
and then into the pits. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Well, on that note, we will start the driver's briefing. So I'm going to see if we can't listen in. Just a real quick congratulations to Edwin Villarino for the pole position and the associated bonus points, and Jason Bice showing up there on the front row ish. Yeah, I guess we don't really do rows here, but you know what I mean. Laying down a time that's only 0.035 seconds slower. So see what Jason has for Edwin tonight, and we will scroll through the rest while we listen.
Keeping first. All right, can everybody hear me okay?
Yep, go for it.
Go for it. So this is going to be Poor Man's version of James' driver's meeting, but keep it short and sweet. Dive bombs, as most everybody knows at this point, are really the biggest issue with this track. It's just so tempting, particularly in turn one, and then the hairpin getting onto the back straight. Just be really aware of whether or not you've got significant overlap before you try to take the corner. If you don't have significant overlap, then that is going to be viewed as a dive bomb, and if it results in any incident at all, even if that incident is just the other car getting pushed off the track, that's going to be an automatic Cat 3, and that comes with a black flag at the next race. So super important to not dive bomb, particularly in turn one. Well, both of them. They both have pretty late apexes. So if you do go for the dive bomb there, the other guy, he's not going to know you're there until he crashes the apex and you both get wiped out. So dive bombs aside, we're going to have a lot of blue flags on this track. As usual, those are instructional, not informational. What we mean by that is if you're given a blue flag, you really need to start planning your strategy for letting folks by. You don't have to do it right when you see the blue flag. I can't remember what the actual distance is or what the time is when you get the warning. But the league's expectation is that once the approaching traffic is within 1 second, which is the draft, that you've got 2 corners to let folks through. If done right, they should never actually reach you and get held up, and that gives everybody time. So Jake is saying that the warning is 1.5 seconds. So that gives you a half a second to figure things out, and then another second to execute it and communicate it if you need to. Speaking of communication, from this point forward, we are in restricted communication. So whether that means stay off voice comms, unless you need to coordinate passes with blue flags. I believe that is it. Any questions, concerns? Oh, probably the pit exit. So rather than trying to get into a bunch of creative rules, unless somebody feels strongly about it, exiting traffic does not need to yield to traffic that's coming around. However, the significant overlap rules apply. So it's really easy to come out of that pit and not realize that you don't have significant overlap as traffic's coming around. So you do need to yield the corner if there's somebody who's already turned into the corner. Beyond that, traffic that's coming out of the pits has as much right in the corner as anybody else, as long as the overlap rules have been, or the overlap criteria have been satisfied. Any questions?
Yeah, Jason, significant overlap, I assume, is your front tire to the other's rear tire, or further up?
It's kind of hard to tell, even on the relative, this is coming out or whatnot, and you're going to have to give a little space if you're on the track.
Yeah, so anybody coming out of the pits, if nothing else, just hug the inside as tightly as possible. And Andrew, you're correct. Overlap is axle to axle. And that's really based on when iRacing spotter and when crew chief spotter notifies of a car alongside. actually, crew chief, I don't know about the iRacing spotter lately, but crew chief will actually give notification a little bit earlier than that. If you're going by crew chief, you're going to be safe. So the moral of that story is just make sure that you're using a spotter and listening to it. Just find the corner coming out of the pit. Does that address what you were saying, Mike?
Yes, kind of. The relative doesn't show pit outs very well. You know what I mean? And I was just suggesting that as you're coming out of the pit, just a pit out announcement, either a voice or a overlay chat would be helpful for the people on track, right when you hit that green cone on the exit.
Yeah, totally fair.
Those of us on the grid couldn't hear.
Oh, sorry. What Mike was saying was, right about when you hit the green cone, just give a pit exit or a pit out message, whether it's over chat or voice, just to give people a heads up. Because the point that he was making is, the nature of this track, the relatives really don't clue you in enough time to respond to somebody who's coming out of the pit.
Understood.
Any other questions?
All right, you're set it to 1 minute.
All right, and there you go. That was the driver's briefing. Since we changed formats there, I'm still trying to find a way to fill that time, but in the meantime, I think it's pretty cool to be able to listen in and see what the drivers are talking about for the race. So we'll roll with that for the time being, and there you go. But the grid is set. You heard the boss man. We're going in a little less than a minute now, and I know that I'm excited to see 36 Skip Barber 4000s head down there to turn on this very short, very fast, difficult to pass track.
You might be excited, but I am terrified.
Rightly so. I am in a much better seat right now when it comes to that.
Yes.
That is for sure. And I flashed the penalties up there. That there's obviously an attempt to just try to keep things nice and respectful and clean. Things are going to happen. Things are absolutely going to happen, but it's just been a push lately to try to minimize that. A lot of people put a lot of work into these Sunday night races, and just trying to make sure that everybody has just as much fun. But here we go. Edwin Viorino is going to lead the field down. The lights are off. The Skippies are away. Relatively clean racing so far. I say that as looks like Bill Groombridge, Paul Beatty has crashed. We'll try to get updates there. Nelson Edison may be off track. We'll let the first lap stuff kind of settle down and maybe go back and review what's going on. But for the time being, we've got Edwin Viorino, Jason Weiss, Chris Herrera leading the field, and just a whole bunch of Skippies behind them. We'll focus here a little further back in the field. Looks like JR Hoop's off the track, and he is now Nelson Addison, Paul Beatty, and Bill Groombridge all in the pits, presumably getting their fast repairs for the evening. We've got 3 wide back here further in the field. Let's ride along with no, they're going to sort it out just a little bit. The cooler heads have prevailed. at least for the time being. All right, check back up here in the front. We've got Edwin Vireno, Jason Weiss on a mission tonight. These two put just a little bit of a gap between themselves and Chris Herrera, who leading the points right now, obviously no slouch, and they themselves have about a little over a second already on Mike Bowers. Edwin holding strong, but boy, that was close. Jason gets just a little bit tight there. I don't know if unexpected braking or just overshot it himself, but this is that long straightaway that we were talking about here. As they round the turn onto the front stretch. All right. Y'all have been patient enough. I think we've got enough sorted out here.
I don't know, mate. I'm still scared.
Well, I'm going to bring up, I think enough of the wrecked cars have sorted out. I'm going to bring up the race information for everybody to enjoy. Here's your intervals for right now. We'll keep it on interval. This is strictly between the car immediately or behind them, so that you can get a sense of just how tightly packed all the cars remain. A little further on in the night, we may go to gap to the leader, but for right now, the ride along with Chris Herrera, sitting in P3, and they continue to gap Mike Bowers just a little bit each lap, just a touch. And let's look at Chris Herrera currently sitting with the fast lap of the night, and you can see right there, Chris is putting some time on Mike behind him. While these guys battle up front, let's take a look here now and a little further back. This is Jeremy Grandin, who is missing a rear wing, so clearly he's seen some stuff earlier in the race. Oh, somebody else is around. Who is that? R. Scott Bell. And it looks like he's going to wait. And
see, that's one of the problems. When you go off, the pack is so close. There's so many people on the track. It's really hard to find the space to get back online.
You basically got to wait. And Chris Stewart goes just a touch wide. He's got Andrew Cole. Or I'm sorry, Sean Trediak. They're looking up at Andrew Cole. But Sean Trediak's able to pull a little bit away from Chris there. You can see right behind them Scott Dorkins and Jack Moffitt. A little further up the field, Walter Collada has Jeffrey Decker. And here's looking back there at Jeffrey. This is going to be a great battle. Two very fast drivers. And Snail Racing doing very well in the team standing so far. Both Walter and Pete Mulbron obviously like to make up some points there on running on empty. So every position counts. Nikolai Wood. This is the battle now for P20 for Jonathan Dockery. Trying to hunt him down. It looks like the 27 of Pagausis is going to go wide. That's going to give Nikolai the look on the outside, but that's tough. Ooh, he's going to have the preferred line going through here. However, got a nice right sweeper. They're going to have to be careful. That's what makes a lot of this very difficult. Those open wheels, all it takes is a little tap. And wheel to wheel, here they go around the final sweeping turn. Well played by both, but Nikolai's trying to find some room there to make the turn in. Cooks it just a touch, but able to maintain control of the car. And he's going to pull off the pass. And Jonathan Dockery says, hey, what about me? Don't leave me behind. So Daniel Pagowski in a pretty good fight there for his position. And we'll check back up here with Carl Dronke in the 38 car. He's got Jonathan Dance right on his gearbox and looking for somewhere to go. Oh, a little further back there, Walter Collada and Jeffrey Decker. We talked about this battle earlier. Jeffrey Decker gonna try to make a move. Very reminiscent of that battle we just saw. Although Jeffrey thinking better of it, it's gonna back out just a little bit. Maybe try to set up for a different passing opportunity. And we've got Jack Moffitt. This was back in that pack we were talking about earlier. Looking ahead at Scott. Really, I mean, I don't know if he can draft any more than that. He's going to get a run. Ooh, that's tough. Somebody's around. Nope, just locked it up. With all the smoke. Thought there was fire. Not always the case. Great battles. Jonathan Dockery still has not made it around Daniel Pagowski, although they are catching up to Jeff Fithian. And Ian Worrell, our own Ian Worrell, catching up to the back of them. Let's check in with Ian there. He's got a great seat.
Oh, tell me about
this battle. You've got 24th, P24 there in the crosshairs.
It's interesting watching these guys fight, and because they're fighting, they slow down, and I can catch up with them a bit. But you know, the pressure gets to some people, and they make little mistakes, and allow you to climb closer.
Very easy to drive in your rearview mirrors, especially at a place like this.
Oh my gosh, yeah! Look at that. There's Jonathan trying to take the inside, but thinking better of it.
Whew. I just want to give a quick shout out there to Paul and Tom and Earthy Racer. I apologize. I feel like I should know who you are. You're on the Discord. Somebody who's out of the race already. But there we go. Thanks guys for showing up. Dockery goes off, gives Ian a little excitement there. And
I was going to take it, and I thought, you know what? That's probably not the best thing to do. Just back it off a little bit.
Still a lot of time left there.
Well, not only that, my objective today is to actually make it to the end.
Perfect.
So.
Well, that's good. I mean, you're working your way up. You're up, what, 7 spots already?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So, all right. I don't know what happened up here, but I want to check. Oh, disregard. I was looking at the wrong times. So not much has changed up here. Edwin, Jason, and Chris kind of falling in line, continuing to gap. We'll check one more time. just exactly the types of laps they're putting down against the 4th place position of Mike Bowers, and you can see anywhere between 3/10 and, you know, just about even, but steadily pulling away. This pack is.
Someone's off on the hairpin there.
Looks like potentially Scott Dorkins, but and here is Mike. He's kind of out there on an island himself, and I just want to check real quick his lap times. Kind of trading barbs with Pete Mulbroughton back in 5th. So, Mike getting the better of Pete up for a couple laps, but all in all, able to increase that gap on Pete, so he's kind of out there on his own. I'm sure he's not too sad about that. Here's Sean Trediak looking down at Chris Stewart. Actually, Chris just passed Sean. That's my apologies. Chris Stewart working his way up now. Still down 1 position, so I'm not sure 100% what happened with him. I'm sure it was part of that initial shenanigans that we have yet to go back and review, but Chris Stewart trying to work his way back into his starting position. In that number 15 Chick-fil-A mobile. And both Sean and Chris were the drivers that I was racing with at Watkins Glen there for quite a while. We had a pretty good run, so that was a lot of fun. So I would imagine.
Dawkins is making a move. Dawkins is making a move.
I can't find him. Where is he?
23rd. Didn't make it stick though. He's trying to get on the inside, coming down into the first corner on the right-hand side.
Oh, he's off.
Who's off?
Are you talking about Scott?
Sorry, Jonathan Doherty.
Dockery. All right.
Dockery, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Scott, he's off. He's off the track. He's chilling. All right, well, we'll come back to Jonathan here. I want to check in just real quick. We've got Aaron Law. We have not chatted about he, Jeremy, and Don Parks all in a pretty good locked in for P11 here. And the battle boxes are just not happy about something. And Scott remains parked on the track. Not sure what he's up to, but Walter remains in front of Jeffrey Decker for that battle. This is really, the closest racing. Jonathan Dockery trying to find a way around Daniel Pagowski safely, which is, as you so well put, Ian, very difficult to do at this track.
It is, and
really,
I mean, Daniel
really got set it
not
up.
Not the fastest driver on the track, and Jonathan typically would sort of find a way past him. But as you can see, I'm slowly catching back up to them again. If they keep fighting, it'll give me a chance to kind of get in there.
Perfect. Well, Daniel is up 13 spots now. That looks like Oliver Hartley had some issues. Entered pits. Jeff Fithian up 12 spots, and Steve Dewar, Jeff Torbeck. We have not checked in with Steve yet tonight, but both he and Jeff Torbeck up 11 spots. Let's see. Got quite a few double-digit movers so far. It's really great to see. I'll bring up the gap here on the leader just so people can get a sense. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I have not brought up the track map. Although it is kind of busy because it's a short track with 36 cars on it. So not really sure what everybody's hoping to gain from it. But we'll keep it up there anyway. And you can see, actually, I'll highlight here Edwin Viorino. So this is that front threesome, so everybody can kind of get a sense of where everybody's at. You can see Oliver Harley, the next driver up. As far as back markers go. But they're just kind of maintaining. Same with Mike, same with Pete. Carl Dronke up 9 spots, a little further back. He's a little bit out on an island right now. Let's take a look at, actually, if I look at Pete here and the lap times, we can get a sense of how he and Carl are doing. The lap 15 was pretty good, but Carl may be making just a little bit of time on him, slowly but surely, but ultimately, not a ton happening there. Again, our closest battle remains the 47, Jonathan Dockery, and the 27. Pegowski, yeah, he's going to go side by side. Oh, the 34 is going to lose it. That's going to mess up Pegowski, and he blocks the 47 as well. So that's going to be huge. Jeff Fithian up 11 spots so far, with just a little bit of a slip that's going to split this battle. And we do have people coming into pit road, and I'm not 100% sure that it's not for the normal scheduled stop times, because we are well within the window for normal pit stops. That being the case, I will bring up the pit laps so people can see when drivers have pit. Obviously Louis in there as one of the first. I think he may be an undercut contender here. The rest I'm not so sure about. Back up at the front, Edwin Viorino, Jason Weiss, Chris Herrera biding their time. Edwin just racking up those points though for the laps led. Right along with Chris, since he's got the best view of all this. And if they weren't before, back markers are going to start playing a factor in how cleanly this front pack can race. They have grown their lead to 3.5, 3.6 seconds or so over Mike Bowers. As more people continue to take the pit lane option, fill up with that Sunoco race fuel or whatever the heck Skippies take.
Tar.
Kerosene. And you can see there, people paid, just like you said, drivers exiting pit road. It's going to be real hairy coming up here as drivers cycle through.
Yeah, you don't want to mess up anybody else's race. Pitting in. Damn, it's so long.
And Jonathan Dockery making his way back up to Daniel Pegowski.
That's my pit box. It's down there.
Ultimately going to be able to make the move. Finally working his way through, and the leaders are in. That's going to leave Chris Herrera out there on his own with Mike Bowers. Pete Mulbroughton stays out. Carl Dronke stays out. So really just Edwin and Jason so far off of pit road there. And we'll see how this all shakes out. Let's get a sense of... Oh, they get a really... Jason had a really great pit stop there. They're going to come out just in front. So now, assuming they took enough fuel, this is Chris Herrera standing alone, and he's gonna go until that tank runs dry. Looks like same with Mike, same with Pete. So if you want to take a look, here's Edwin and Jason. He's P11 currently, P12 for Jason. 27 seconds is the gap. As more drivers continue to pit, Dance and Parks, teammates, taking the pit lane together.
Thank you, sir.
Well, let's just take a look at what sort of difference we get between 27.5 seconds. And it does look like Chris is maintaining, if not pulling away ever so slightly. A little bit of a bobble there, though. I'm sure he's just happy to not have people in front of him for a little bit, enjoy that clean air and run his line. All right, Pete Mobron is in the pits. So we have more takers. Jeffrey Decker and Walter Collada. Looks like Walter has made a pass back past Jeffrey. Apparently we missed that move. Or at least I did. I'm sure you guys may have seen it on the timing tower there, but I definitely missed it. Maroney and World getting in the mix.
Yeah, just trying to get out of their way, let them by. But I don't want to let Daniel by because I'm racing him.
Delicate balance. It's a delicate balance.
I don't know if
Alright.
I got enough gas either, so I might be joining team running on empty.
There you go. Good company to be in. It does look like Carl has pit, Chris Stewart has pit, and we are just waiting now to see what Chris, Mike, Walter, Jeffrey, and Sean all do. Sean working his way back up. Holy cow, up 13 spots. Maybe trying to take advantage. He is now sitting ahead of the leaders, though. Got a rear view mirror or two full of Edwin Viorino and Jason Weiss. I shouldn't say the leaders, but the presumptive. That being said, they are gaining time on Chris, who finally ducks down into pit road. So let's ride on board with Edwin Viorino. This was your leader before the pit started. And let's see where Chris Herrera comes out. He's not moving yet. There he goes. Chris on the move. And he's going to get out in front of the leaders. Great strategy by Chris. And not only just get out in front of the leaders, but he has a gap of about a second. Well done. Now it's on Edwin and Jason to chase down Chris Herrera. And tell you what though, great pit strategy on that gentleman's part. Jeffrey Decker Still locked in a battle with Walter. This has been going on all race. Great to watch. Both of these drivers have hit actually most everybody's pit. So let's bring that back down and put up pit lane time so everybody can see where people may have gained or lost some time on pit road. This is basically from when you enter, cross the enter line to when you cross the exit line. So it takes everything into account. Your speed down pit road, your time in the pits, getting fuel, presumptively only getting fuel. And you can see there Chris with a 30.6. Edwin just slightly slower. Carl had a great pit stop altogether. But everybody pretty close. Not too bad. Okay, well, that gap to the leader is closing, but I want to come back here real quick to Walter and Jeffrey, because at the moment this is the closest race we have going on, and I want to just ride on board with Jeffrey Decker for a little bit as he smokes it going into turn 1 on the exit. Walter's clearly going to get a better run off. I'm sorry, not turn 1.
I was going to say, I couldn't see them.
Don't mind me.
They're not that, I'm not that close to them. Well, I managed to get an extra place during the pit stop.
That's good.
Put me out in front of Daniel.
I've lost all.
You've lost all sense of where you're at?
Yeah, well, that too. Alright, we're back. Alright, well, we're back. Come down to 11 minutes left. 11 more laps. Ish. So it's a 40-minute race, but it goes by pretty quick. Let's do a quick run through the field, and we can get a sense of who's where. Chris Herrera remains out front, but not by much. So you can see the gap there. Growing just a touch to Jason. But there you go, Edwin, Jason. A little further back, there is Mike. And Pete has caught up, so that gap between Pete and Mike has dropped a little bit. But those two remain pretty far away from that lead group. Carl as well up 9 spots. And actually, while we do this, now that I'm saying that, why don't we... up spots gained. There you go. That way you don't have to take my word for it. Jonathan Dance in P7. Walter Collada right where he started, but he and Jeffrey Decker locked in an epic battle. Presumably for the existence of mankind. I don't know, but they're acting like it. It's awesome to see.
The
Don
existence
Parks
of mankind.
P10. He's going to round out your top 10. Louis and... oh, actually, sorry, I thought... so Louis right there, but Aaron's a little further back for P12. There's Chris Stewart and Jack Moffitt, both in the same picture. 18th and 14th. Sean Trediak trying to chase them down. Jeff Torbeck is up 13 spots. Up to P16. A little further back, there's Steve Dewar, up 12 spots to P17. Nikolai Wood and Andrew. Oh, and Oliver Harley. 1, 2, 3 right there for 18, 19, 20. Jonathan Dockery is currently sitting 21st. Ian Whirl up 11 spots. Nice job, my friend.
Thank you. Although, as I say, I think I'm going to run out of gas, so that's not going to last. Not very last, so I have to pit again.
Well, they're almost going 3 wide behind you, so I don't know if they're going to bring out the caution. And we've got the leaders right there, but there's Daniel Pagowski and R. Scott Bell. It looks like Jonathan Dockery is just going to let him go. I believe that's Jonathan. No, I'm sorry. That might be JR Hoops. My apologies. and here we go. This is where the leaders are trying to come through, so this may actually help out Jason a little bit as our Scott Bell makes way a little further back there. Jeff Max down 3 spots to 26. Bill is working his way through, up 8 spots and trying to get some more. There's Bill. 25 seconds back there, JR. I do believe that's who I was talking about earlier. Jay Gaucher we have not talked much about. Down 4 spots currently, sitting in P30. And quite a ways back, Rich Butler. We are now down in the, you can see 10, 15, 20. Oh, Sammy Bridges is off. Jeremy Grandin is off. Jeremy Grandin just checking in. Turn off the fast prepare when you start the race. Yes, excellent advice. Always good to know. Scott, Nelson, and Paul all out as well. All right.
Hey, Chris, talk to me.
Yes, hello.
Other Chris. Chris Herrera, so I'm letting him by.
Oh, there you go.
Go through. Don't hit me. I'm letting you through, for God's sake. There we go.
Well, Chris and Edwin have gapped Jason just by about 1.3 seconds as we tick down to 6 minutes remaining in the race.
Take the inside.
here-
There we go. Let him through.
Jason working his way through. Still guys about 5 seconds back to Mike Bauer, so no. This may be one of his best finishes for Jason Bice. I hate to say that without having the stats in front of me, but
Also, you know, don't talk about Jason.
oh, great call. Great call. I'll just talk about Ian.
Oh, no. That's not fair either.
And how much gas you have.
Oh, don't. Right now I have 0.37 of a gallon left. I'm doing 0.11 of a gallon per lap. You do the math.
Oh, man. Chris and Edwin. That is what we call overlap right there. Edwin's gonna have the preferred line going into the corner. Chris has to back it off. Jason excited to see all of this. But now we have 5 minutes remaining, and Edwin has taken the lead. Exciting
I've got
stuff,
2 laps of
exciting
fuel
times.
left.
Oh no. We've
So
got just a
next
couple
lap,
more
I'm
than
gonna
that,
pit.
my friend. Just a couple more than that left. A little further back here. Sorry, we focused on the leaders just a little too long. I say that because Jonathan Dance, Walter Claude, and Jeffrey Decker. You know, we've been talking about Walter and Jeffrey, but now Jonathan, they've kind of collected him. And Walter's going to leave the door open there for Jeffrey. Oof. Side by side, down into the corner. They are beam each other. Walter's going to take it back though, as Jonathan kind of slowly starts to try to attempt to crawl away.
Singing.
Happy that the Highlander battle is happening back here, apparently. Here's another great one. Chris Stewart and Jack Moffitt. These are some pretty skilled drivers that want that 13th position. Chris locks it up, man. Oh. Going into what is not turn 1, as we have found. Definitely not turn 1. Definitely turn 10 and 11. Ian fueling up. We ended up dropping a couple of positions because of it, but a valiant effort nonetheless. Andrew Cole. We'll take down the interval here, but pretty good night overall, I'd say. Scott Bell, and this has been going on. I've been eyeing this. I wanted to check in with it, but he and Daniel Pagowski got just under 2.5
run
minutes
into
left.
me. Oh, come on.
Uh-oh. Ian Worrell crashed.
Ian Worrell did not crash. Ian Worrell had somebody crash into him. So that is the end of that.
Good night, Irene. I mean, Ian.
Yeah. I don't know if I have a fast repair that I need to use, but...
Oh, the 27 and Pagowski locks it up. That's going to give Scott just a hint of a prayer here.
Oh, I do have a fast repair.
Nice. He's going to make it by. Woo.
Why am I not towing?
All right, coming back up here to the front because we do have a minute and a half left. Yep, minute and a half left. Which would presumably mean 2 laps. Chris just doing his darndest to find a way around lap leader Edwin Viorino. No threat anymore from Jason, who's happy to hopefully just kind of hold on to that podium, who got over a 5-second gap on 4th himself. Chris running out of time. Edwin, time on his side at this point. They're going to come down here and take the white flag. There's the line, 1 to go.
Okay, my car's not driving right. I am staying out of it. Something wrong with my car still.
I hate it when the fast repairs don't.
Yeah, the fast repair did not work. Pass me, I'm damaged. Pass me.
Alright, well, here we go. Chris finds his way to the gearbox. This is the last set of turns coming up after the straightaway. All or nothing. Not gonna have enough.
At least I will cross the line under my own power.
Congratulations to Edwin. Chris and Jason Bice is your 3rd place winner. There's Mike Bowers. Oh man, I'm apparently way off here. Alright, so Mike Bowers, Pete Mobron. Here's Walter Collada, who has passed Jonathan Dance. A great move there. We missed that earlier. Don Parks is going to come across the line in E9, and Louis will round out your top 10. I really need a different Jack Moffitt.
My car was quite moving.
Sean Trediak, Chris Stewart, Carl Dronke. Here comes Steve Dewar up 13 spots in P16. Nikolai Wood, Andrew Cole, Jonathan Dockery, Oliver Hartley, Scott Bell. I don't know that that's his wheel. He seems done.
What is my car doing? I'm now on the track again,
Oh,
and now I'm off the track. And I'm back
that's
on the
one
track
way to
again.
do it. As we see, it's definitely something you can't do in the real world. Is the post-race pile up. I don't know. Somebody's car is just not having a great time there.
That's mine. That's my car. That's me bouncing around. I don't know why. I've got no front wheel. And it's just bouncing around onto the track, off the track, onto the track, off the track. Oh, dear me. It's going around the other way now. Ugh, there you go. Well, that was a race, wasn't it?
Whew. That was a pretty good race. We had some good racing all the way around. Congratulations again to Edwin Virino, Chris Herrera, and Jason Weiss will be your podium for this evening. And let me run through the results here while I go and find out if we got anybody.
There's nobody in standby just yet.
Okay, all right, well, I guess we'll interview you then. You've got the best view in the house, to be honest with you. What do you think of the
Well,
race?
it was a really good race. I mean, I think that Tskuba is a very difficult track to race fast on. Because it's such a short track and it's really hard to pass in. I mean, it's a track designed for motorcycle racing, to be honest with you.
Right.
Which is what it was designed for, right? Motorcycle racing in the 70s and 80s. But I think everybody did a really good job. I had to get out of the way for a few folks. A couple of folks had to get out of the way for me, which is for me an unusual circumstance, but one I'm very glad to see happen and happy to see happen more if that's possible. But for a track where you have to, people think about it as you push the pedal down to the floor and you turn the wheels, right? And there's so much more than that you have to be doing while you're racing. And if anybody's really interested in sort of getting an idea of what's going through your head as you're going down a track, listen to one of Pete Mabroton's videos that he does about learning a track, because he talks a lot about, as I'm approaching this corner, this is what I'm thinking about, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm listening for, this is where I'm putting my hands and feet and eyes and brain and everything else. And there's a huge amount more than just sort of making sure you're in the right gear, making sure you're braking or accelerating, and making sure you're turning. That goes into doing this. And Tskuba concentrates all of that because it is such a short track, and the corners come thick and fast. Yes, last week's race was far more technical with lots of blind corners, but you did have a couple of places where you could sort of relax and slow down, and not slow down, but your brain could slow down. You had some straights to run and stuff like this. To Scuba, you just don't have that. You're on the whole time. But don't take my word for it. We've got Jonathan Dockery and Chris Herrera sitting in the standby room. Let's have a word with them.
Awesome. Sorry, I'm just looking at.
Were you
Bill
drinking or what?
Oh no, Bill Groomer's just wild ride there. I was trying to figure out who went flying through the air initially. Oh boy. Well, we've got Jonathan Dockery in the booth. Sorry, I apologize. We were looking at that lap one. I was kind of hypnotized there for just a little bit, but
yeah.
So hey man, yeah. How'd the race go for you at least?
I went back and watched it. So I don't think we're allowed to use names because of call outs, but so I knew going in that, like, in practice I was good. Like, I was within 4 or 5 tenths of first place on the chart, which is an improvement, so I was happy about that, right? And then I knew going into turn one that it was going to get jumbled for the first 2 or 3 laps, so I stayed wide, and I thought I stayed plenty wide, and there was a couple bumps on the inside, and I get hit, knocked off the track. Car's a little bent after that, but like, I can drive it, it's okay. So it was fun. I think I gridded 25th, got bumped off the track, came back on last place, and finished 19th. So top 20, we'll take it, especially after the last 5 weeks of not finishing. I don't think so. It was fun.
Right.
Good stuff.
Yeah, we actually watched you quite a bit. You had some really good racing going on, and you know,
It's just
yeah,
I got
after everything shook out, yeah.
I got with a couple guys there, and I knew I was faster because I ran them down. But then it's like you're frustrated because you know you're quicker, right? But there's only like one or two places you can really pass. But then we have that rule where if you're not by the braking zone, which is kind of point of turn in, there's not much room for error there on the judgment call. So if you're not overlapped front to back tire, the guy in front has the right to the corner. So even if you get to the guy and you pull out and your nose cone's there, you're not there. So it's like I had a couple of cases where I can take this guy, but I know I need another half a tire length to be there. So just back out, let him have the corner. But it was fun. Survived the race. Only one small wreck. Didn't get taken out. So broken a new steering wheel. So it's been a good race and a good week.
Yeah, awesome. How you enjoying that direct drive?
My left shoulder and upper arm are a little sore, but yeah. And the Sim Commander software is insane. Like I still haven't gone all the way through and adjusted it, but I got the wheel good enough to race with, and it's fun. With the Thrustmaster, I had my best lap was I think a 101.734, and with this one, I think my best lap is a 101.798 already. So it's right there. But
awesome.
It was fun. Just think next week we go to Belle Isle, and I'm really looking forward to that one because I'm pretty decent there, I think.
Yeah, Belle Isle is a lot of fun.
So at least at Belle Isle you can pass. So
yes, but you do feel like a ball in a pinball machine.
that's how I felt tonight. I mean, I'm telling you.
No, yeah, well, okay, but at least
That's fair.
here you got some runoff. At Belle Isle, if you get pinballed, you're in a wall.
Yeah, so we have to be safe and see how it goes. But I'm really looking forward to next week because I'll have a full week with the wheel. It'll all be adjusted and good to go. So we'll see how it goes. Because my thing is, like you all noticed, and I've heard both of you say, well, you have good pace. At the end of the run, I do. I don't qualify well. Like if you look at the practice charts, even tonight, undrafted, I'm pretty decent, but I have not yet figured out how to get the car to go in the first 6 laps. It's like
Yeah. Well, I must admit, I was very pleased with my fairly consistent 102 lap time, so I'm not complaining about that at all.
great. Like it.
But yeah, you were running really well because I was running behind you for quite a while.
You're
Watching you because I ran all the way up to you and Daniel and watched you all fighting away, and then did something stupid and fell back, and then I caught back up with you again.
Yeah,
It was great watching you guys fight that race. It was really awesome.
So like with Daniel, like I said, I got to him, and I knew I was quicker, and I'm glad I was patient because whenever it came time to pit, he pitted I think 3 laps before I did, and he let me by the pit, which was awesome, and I appreciate the sportsmanship there. But I knew I was quicker, so whenever he pitted, I just went at it for another 3 or 4 laps. I think I pitted, and I still had 2 laps where I could have ran. So whenever he came out of the pit and I came out of the pit, he was behind me, but he was 8 seconds behind me. So I don't know how much time I made up in those laps, and I don't know if he overfueled the car because I took 4 laps too much fuel. But I'd rather have too much than run out again. So it was fun. It was great. Congrats to the winner. I'm not sure who won the race. I didn't even look. So, but it was fun. Oh, cool.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm still waiting to work with him because I think between me and him we can figure out my qualifying thing, but that hasn't happened yet. So
there you go. Well,
but
yeah.
It was a blast.
Once that happens, everybody's on warning. So awesome, man. Well, congratulations.
I appreciate all y'all do at the broadcast because I really enjoy watching that throughout the week at work. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, happy to do it, man. Well, good luck at Belle Isle next week, and I'm curious to see what you can do there because the confidence going in there and the speed, and now you got the new direct drive wheel, so work out some of that qualifying stuff and Go
I'm
give them
still
hell.
looking for my first top 10, so I'm hoping next week.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, good luck, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Take it easy, mate.
See you. All right. We're gonna definitely make Jason wait, but I want to bring in Mike Bowers, get his perspective on it. I mean, Mikey kind of ended up on a little bit of an island out there for most of it, but I kind of want to get your view on what happened there. Oh, nope, he didn't want to go. All right, we'll talk to Chris. Instead, we'll talk to Chris, who was basically kind of hanging out the back of the front threesome there, and took a very different pit strategy. It worked out very, very well, but just at the end, didn't have what for Edwin. I mean, it's Edwin, so of course. But yeah, talk us through what was going through your head.
So I didn't really have a pit strategy until Edwin and Jason went in, and then my immediate thought was,
Wait. You didn't have a pit strategy?
No, I didn't.
I don't believe it.
It was a very reactive pit strategy, and I decided as soon as Edwin and Jason went off to pit, I knew I still had 6 or 7 laps of fuel left, and I wanted to try to accumulate some bonus points because first of all, congrats to Edwin. And this, not only is he incredibly good at this track, but the track is also very difficult to pass on. So he got pole position, and then he was just getting bonus point after bonus point at the beginning. So I was doing whatever I could to sort of minimize that. And somehow I came out right ahead of him. And quickly, my illusions of keeping him over a second behind me were dashed, and he caught up to me. And I was hoping I could lose him as we were making our way through the back markers, and unfortunately that didn't happen either. And then on one of the laps into T1, he just got a much better run than I did. He was able to stay side by side, and then he was able to pull it off. And then at that point, I just was not able to pass him no matter what I did. So congrats to him. He just had an incredible race. But for me, I am pretty happy since I only did a couple public races this week. I don't particularly like this track. And all that said, I'm very happy with my second place today.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have anything for you there, man. It was a well-run race. You did what you had to do. I mean, you weren't gonna just go blown by Jason and or Edwin in the beginning there. So you waited and you were able to make it where ended up in front of them after the pit stop, which was always going to be a factor in the race. And yeah, it's it's just tough sometimes, man. It's a tough competitive field. So good to see. And Belle Isle next week, kind of a similar, but we were just talking with Jonathan. Yeah, so kind of a similar vibe, right? Like it's a close quarters. It's a little bit bigger, obviously, but a little more passing opportunity. But at the same time, it's a little claustrophobic, at least in my view. I was running the Indy Pro there this past week, and it felt very claustrophobic to me. But yeah, are you traditionally good there? Is this one of the ones where you're going to be running a lot of public races?
Absolutely, I'm a big fan of Belle Isle, and where other people say claustrophobic, I say cozy. I'm a big fan of the long straights and the passing opportunities, as well as the very tight corners. And if my memory is correct, I think that's the course, one of the courses, I should say, that where Pete Mabrotten is just incredibly fast. And I'm guessing a lot of other folks are as well, but for some reason he's the first one that comes to mind. So I'm looking forward to battling him.
That's probably right.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to next week very much.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think Belle Isle is one of those tracks that when you get it right, you get it right, and you can really do some damage to some other folks on that circuit.
Yeah, hopefully damage in terms of
racing hard,
up time on them. Yes,
right. Racing hard, and making up points on them. No, absolutely, because it is. I agree with you, a really fun, if not slightly bumpy track.
Yes, yeah. And speaking of points, Edwin, if my calculations are correct, I think he got 4 bonus points because he got pole position, and then 3 more for laps led. And I think I only got 1 for laps led, so he got quite a big chunk of points gained on me today. So again, congrats to him. He just had a great day.
Awesome. Yeah, look at that. You're already crunching the numbers. We're just trying to figure out what the heck happened on the replays. That's good.
My
Good
job's
stuff.
much easier right now. I could just sit here.
We need to get you on the stats team here. So, yeah, I think that would. Other than wishing you luck next week, do you have any other shout outs you want to give? I didn't see. I don't know that I saw any running an empty make any comments, but I'm sure they were there out watching in the crowd.
Yeah, so for my running on empty fans who did not comment today, I got to say, I'm not angry. I'm just a little disappointed.
Oh, come on, come on. Hey, listen, I nearly joined your team today.
Oh yeah, you ran out of gas?
Well, I managed to pit before I did, but I had to do 2 pit stops to have enough fuel to finish the race.
Well, your application has officially been received.
Awesome.
All right, I'll let you guys move on to the next, guys. I know you got a couple waiting.
Cool. Take care, my
Awesome.
friend.
All
Good
right,
race.
thank you guys. I
Thanks.
appreciate it. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Well, we don't have anybody else race. Oh, we do. We have Mike Bowers and Jason Bice waiting.
Yeah, I want to give Mike another. Yeah, Mike, you got
Mike,
us
another chance. We'll give him a chance. If he doesn't do it this time, we'll just have to black flag him. Mike, you there?
Okay, I'm here, guys.
Oh, okay.
See, it's the threat of the black flag that gets him.
That's right.
Yeah, something. I don't know how to do this. I'm kind of old, and I don't know how to do all this Discord and all this stuff you guys
the high
do.
technology stuff.
Well,
Very
it's not the
fancy.
high tech. I just don't. Yeah.
Go find
have
a
a lot of
millennium.
time.
That's what you need. Go find a millennium to help you. One of those people.
Yeah, whatever. You can't even say it.
I know.
Yeah. So I don't know if you heard us earlier, but
Nope.
we saw you out there. You were P4. You started P4, and then you were just kind of P4 out there. I didn't see what happened early in the race. There was a lot of stuff that was going on, and we didn't really get a chance to go back and revisit it. So I was just kind of curious to see what your view of everything was.
Well, initially, when we got started in turn 4, I was having some trouble graphically, and I think a lot of guys were. And we went into turn 4, and everybody hit the brakes as normal. And I had a couple pretty big graphical hiccups. So I was just real careful, and that being careful, I lost those front 3 guys. And, I hung there for a little bit, but once they got tied up in that little bit of draft, I could never catch back up. So that's kind of what happened is first lap. I got, 8/10 behind, and then a couple corners later, I'm a second, and then you're kind of out there on your own.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
good,
well,
good
I
race.
think, the pace that Edwin, Chris, and Jason had, I don't know what you're going to do with that. I don't know what you're supposed to do, especially if, you start out with a little bit of a, taking it easy. You can't start out. I'm not saying you can't start off with taking it easy. It was a good call on your part, but at the same time, you kind of, sealed the deal there with those 3 out front, running in a line. So.
Yep. I knew when I lost him because I'd raced Edwin a little bit earlier in the week, and I could actually run with him. You'd never pass him. I'd never have anything for him unless he made a mistake, and that's highly unlikely. Him and Pete and Chris. Chris will make a mistake on occasion, and just because he's always going for it. But, those other guys are pretty calculated, and it seems like Edwin always holds about 1/10 of a second in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
So... But yeah, I was really hopeful tonight. I actually thought I could at least finish on the podium because I was fairly decent all week long. And that went away at about lap 1. So, oh well, it was fun.
Like 40 minutes to think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was pressing pretty hard, and then Pete made a killer pit stop because I was kind of just cruising, and I watched the interval with him, and if he gained a little bit, I'd press for a couple laps, and I had enough time. I was pretty conservative on the pit stop, and he made a killer one. I don't know what he did, but he was pressuring pretty hard there to the end.
He's Pete, so he's got that special sauce that he's not willing to share with the rest. Well, no, he is willing to share with the rest of us. I just don't know if it's repeatable. So.
Yeah, he'll share because he knows you're not smart enough to pull it off. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for chatting with us, and look forward to. Actually, we didn't make any winter challenge plugs tonight, but Had a great time last time and been doing really well in the practices for the Indy 250. And I think next time we'll try to start bringing in the um, charities, because I
Cool.
unfortunately had to talk about yours because we didn't set that up very well with the Apex Racing team. So I want to start giving people an opportunity to talk about things that they care about, in real life. And this
Yep.
iRacing's fun and important too. But yeah, so look forward to that, and we will see you at Belle Isle next week, one way or another.
All right. Thank you, guys. Take it easy.
You too, mate. Take it easy. Have a good evening.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
All right, and last, but actually not even close to least, probably 34 spots away from least, or 31, or something like that. Jason Bice. Hey, I am a terrible statistician and did not crunch the numbers, but even go back and verify. But what is your best Sunday Night Skippy finish ever?
This is my second podium, and so
Second
third.
podium, okay.
Yeah. My best, my previous was Montreal, I think, at the end of season 2. So, yeah, pretty happy.
Yeah, that was like 7 years ago, I think.
Yep, that feels like it.
Feels like it.
Yeah, it's 7 years since I finished a race.
Well, you finished
Oh,
the
man.
race, but not only did you finish the race, you finished it with the same coat of paint that you started it with.
Yes, I've got all my paint, none of
Yes.
anybody else's. So
Yeah, which is awesome.
yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what we saw, and then you can kind of fill in the blanks. But we had you, Edwin, and Chris just basically out there pacing the field. Got a really good gap, and we're just comfortably out there on your own little, podium island, if you will. You took the same pit strategy as Edwin. Chris did not. He ended up gaining some spots because of it. And at the end of the day, it looked like they were able to just kind of pull away as the race wore on just a little bit. But yeah, if you wouldn't mind talking us through that.
Yeah, I think we were a little sketchy getting into the pits. We I think we lost a little time just on the entry, and I think I tapped Edwin going in, so protest against me there. But yeah, Chris, when I think he did 3 or 4 laps without us, and when he came back out in front of us, I had my teammate Steve, in my ear, and I told him, I said, "There's no way he finishes this race. Just no way." Like, you heard it here first. Chris is gonna run on empty. So I told Steve I will eat my shorts if Chris finishes this race. So I've got a pretty wicked meal coming my way.
Yeah, hopefully you've got those edible. Never mind. We'll.
Yep.
Yeah, let's not go down there.
Got to go to the special store for those.
Yeah.
Right. Well, either way, it was a lot of fun to watch, and we got to focus on you guys up front a lot. I'm sure it felt really good, just kind of a deep breath, and to be able to your point, kind of walk away from a race. I know that not just you, but there's just been a lot of just kind of frustration with being able to finish races. So I think all in all, there's probably a few throughout the field they're gonna feel that way. But for such a short track and for how things have been going, I think that overall, and I'm sure some individual drivers will disagree with me, but overall, it seemed like people were giving each other space, and I think the focus on not dive bombing and everything, starting to turn things around just a little bit. That was kind of my view. So, nice job as an admin, nice job as a steward and all that. But yeah, ultimately, it's great to see that the competition out there was good. We had a couple great races well throughout the pack, and yeah, there were some spins and stuff and some contact, but the real close racing that was happening lap after lap after lap, was relatively clean. So good to see.
Yeah, it's funny. Mike Bowers actually last season described another track as very fun to drive, not so much fun to race, and I think that absolutely applies to Tskuba. It is such a fun track to drive because there's so much flow to it, but it's kind of funny. Skippy drivers love to complain about the draft and how strong it is, but it's almost non-existent at Tskuba, and it's actually a tragedy because these straights are so short that by the time you actually get a run on somebody, you're out of track and wash, rinse, and repeat. Now, what's funny is the track that Mike was describing. was Belle Isle, which is next week. So, and it's our own little Monaco, our own little,
Sure.
You're a ping pong ball on that track. But
Yep.
I love Belle Isle,
Yeah.
and I love Tskuba, but you never know how it's going to go. It can either be really clean or we had our practice races earlier this week. In both of them, there were definitely some frustrated people walking away from those. But there's a lot going on. The league has grown, and we've been talking a lot this week about how do we get back to basics. I hate to use such a cliche, but that's kind of the spirit of what the league officials and the stewards have been discussing is how do we get that culture back. And what's been really good is everybody that we've gotten feedback from, given some feedback to, everybody's been really open about getting back to what made it popular to begin with. So
Sure.
Yeah.
That's
It's
good to hear.
difficult. I mean, it's difficult to manage a voluntary event with volunteers, all the way around who want who want champagne when you're using you're using Coca-Cola and best efforts.
yes,
You know what I mean?
yes,
And we've I keep going back to this league isn't a year old yet.
no, it feels like it.
It does, but we're not a year old until what, November, really, right?
Right.
Jay? Yeah,
Our first season was
the
season
last
one.
season.
Yeah.
No, it was the last
This
season
one,
of
yeah.
last year, right?
Was
Yeah.
it? Wow.
Yeah. And we have grown so quickly. I've heard some people say that we're one of the premier leagues in the Skippy class now. Like
Well, how about that?
we are the league to be in. And I've heard some people say, "Oh, I can't join them. They're too fast." then I think of me just
Do you-
plowing through
do you know
walls and
me?
cutting
Yeah.
grass. Not really, mate. We're not really. But I mean, we're managing lots and lots of different people with lots
Yeah.
and lots of different wants and needs and expectations, and it really is, very much down to you, mate. You've done such a tremendous job of keeping everybody sort of on the straight and narrow to a large extent.
I
Uh,
can't take credit for that. I appreciate that, but you, James, Chris, Walter, and Don helping out with the stewarding. I know Chris has said it a dozen times in the broadcast, but it's hard to describe all the effort that goes in behind the scenes here, and I'm far from the only one. Yeah, I appreciate it, but I can't take that credit.
it's not so much that you need to take the credit for doing all the work. So yeah, the work's shared, but I go back to we randomly met on a chat board.
Yeah.
Complaining about people dive bombing, and I think you said we should have a league, and I said that's a good idea, and I went and registered it.
And what the funny thing is, I think I was telling Chris this the other day, was I think about this time last year, it was October. I had just gotten out of the Mazda rookies, and I wanted a Skippy league, and I didn't have the I rating for 2K, and I wanted to race when the sun was up, so I couldn't join anything across the pond. And so I started reaching out to people asking if there was any interest in the Skippy league, and everybody was like, "No, everybody's already doing as good a job as can be done. Don't even bother." And then you, me, and Chris Stewart met on the forum, and here it is.
That was it. Yeah,
that was it. Yeah,
This was history.
yeah. The baby was born. What are we going to do for that? We need to do something for the first birthday then.
yeah. I don't know. What do you think, Chris? Any ideas?
Boy, I don't know. I think, I'll eat a cake. You guys can listen to me eat it on the broadcast. I'm good with that. But,
Thank you for volunteering. Somebody had to do it, right?
Nobody's ever accused me of being a bad brainstormer here, but yeah, we can come up with something better than that, I'm sure. That's the
Yeah.
going in proposition, though. Like that, if nothing else, we're gonna listen to Chris eat cake on the broadcast. Anything else?
I don't
That's
know
the
if I
standard to be right
really
now.
like that idea. You know, I'm just looking to see what circuit we're going to be on, sort of for our birthday run. It's either going to be, I guess, Zolder or Spa. Right? That's November 10th or November 17th,
Yeah, you're right. It'll either be Zolder or Spa.
or Donington. And I know Donington's one of your favorites,
Oh, I love Donington.
Jason.
Not the Grand Prix layout. I'm kind of bummed that it's Grand Prix this season, but Donington is such a good track.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's our November. Maybe we need to have, well, there's Nürburgring, Zolder, Spa, and Donington all in November. I'm trying to remember when our first race was.
Oh, we did a test race at Road Atlanta. Tskuba was our first race, I think. I'm pretty sure Tskuba was the first time we tracked points.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, we're gonna have to get the league historian on this one.
Yep.
Guys,
So we need to find out when
stories
Tskuba was
aren't adding
last
up
year.
here.
Yeah. Well, we'll just sort of figure out when Tskuba was last year, and then that will be the date,
There you
and
go.
the closest one to that will be our birthday.
Boom.
The
Yeah.
league birthday race.
There you go.
I'll have to do like maybe a special
in the-
prize.
Put it in the charter.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, is there? I hate to cut this short, but I really have to go use the restroom. Is there any last?
I'll
shout
pull that
outs?
out about cake.
I'm really hungry now. I really need some cake.
But no, thank you guys for everything you do. Seriously.
It's all good fun, mate. It's all
Awesome.
good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I think the last thing I want to do. I just want to watch. It's just so great, and I know Bill probably doesn't feel the same way, but I'm sorry, but he's got a Blue Angels paint scheme on.
Ooh.
And on lap 1.
Did he fly?
Oh yeah. Oh, he got some good air.
Bill had a takeoff.
Nailed
huh?
it.
It's the paint.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
always the paint.
Yeah, formation departure. It was great. All right. Oh man. All right. That's all I got. I'm gonna save this replay. It's been going on long enough. Thank you guys. Thank you, Ian, for everything that you do and for broadcasting the race with us tonight and giving us the track tours and all that. Jason, rest of the admin. So Jason, excellent race. Great to see you on the podium.
Thank you.
Once again, you had a lot of good pace. It was great to see the clean finish and also great work with the admin stuff in addition to the other guys. And on behalf of myself and just me, I'm going to say good night to everybody, and we'll see you next week at Belle Isle. Another course that I'm really excited to call because we are sure to see that damage model really show off what it's got. And hopefully not too much, but just enough to keep people in.
Bill's second
We'll see
flight.
everybody next same
There you go.
bad time, same bad channel, and peace out.
Good night,
night,
all.